really quickly put some stocks on your radar for tomorrow as well as next week, but mainly tomorrow because the markets will be closed Friday. So if you have not seen so far about the China AI, China and America import export ban on chips. Okay, now when it comes to AI chips, we know who's at the top, which is Nvidia. So we already know that Nvidia will probably take the biggest hit, and we've already seen that today it is down $7 on the day. So that news got investors a bit nervous, and they're jumping ship. Is bringing the stock down, and I would not be surprised if we see Nvidia back in those high mid 90s. And keep in mind, just a week ago they was down what to $85 if I'm not mistaken. So it's slightly possible that it could be coming back down. So I want to kind of look at a few things. So with Nvidia, as of right now, 20% of their revenue comes from China. Okay, 20 to 25%. And so let's see here. It is that's what about 11. Here we go. So Nvidia's 2024 data center revenue was 47.5 billion. That makes about 9.5 billion to 11.9 billion of that revenue from China. So that's 9 to 11 billion that Nvidia will probably be wiping off their sheets for now. Are probably sitting on a shit ton of inventory because of the ban, and they cannot get their chips over there. So they're going to take a huge hit. They're already taking it, and we just kind of got to see how this takes place. But not just Nvidia. You got Nvidia, Intel, you got Micron Technologies, you got Broadcom, ABGO. Who else? You got Qualcomm. You have all of them, okay? And AMD was also down $7 on the day. So they are also taking a hit. Intel has about 20% of their revenue from China as well. So it's going to be a lot of hits being taken with this ban, or at least while we kind of see how it goes. Now, be careful. When you go on the charts, I say go easy because just like they literally just issued a exemption on chips and electronic smartphones, computers, and we saw what happened with the stocks. And then they turned around and said, "Oh, that wasn't said, or this is just temporary." Chips have their own tariffs coming, flip flop, right? So we can watch the downside, okay, but still just be a little gentle because we don't know when a flip flop will happen, and we don't know what next news will be coming out, what tweet is coming out, what true social post is coming out. And so just kind of, if you're going to go all in, just be gentle, see profit, take profit, because, you know, that next tweet come, that next article come, then should just go left, okay? So I do want to look at some levels. I'm sitting here mapping out a few downside levels for NVIDIA, Intel, AMD. Hell, I was looking at all of them on what I'm kind of trying to see if they're going to test these levels and whether or not I'm going to get into any plays for them. So right now, I'm on NVIDIA. Okay, I'm on that 15-minute time frame. Um, if NVIDIA is opens below, let's see, I got 102.04, then it can retest that $145. And if it breaks below that, we have 98.96 that's next, okay? So that's what I'm looking at. I was kind of looking at 102.04, and then I had another level here at 185 and then 145. But I just brought it all down because it did hit 145 and it pushed back up to that 50 EMA, and we kind of just trailed sideways below that. And this is mostly after the market close. Okay, so it hit that 145. So opening below that or getting below that would definitely bring us back down to 98.96. Okay, so those are just a few levels to the downside that I'm looking at. So 102.04, and then 101.85, and then I'm sorry, hold on. Let me go back. 102.04, and then breaking below 145 opens the door for 98.96. Okay, so that's just something on Nvidia. I'm not quite looking at anything to the upside, but if we do want to see this push higher, I wouldn't be in calls on this one unless we are above 107.83. Okay, and then we got some levels up here at the top. So anything under 107.83, I wouldn't be interested in calls for NVIDIA. Okay, that's just for me personally. So Intel, of course, is a lower cap. Okay, so if you are, um, wanting to find something that's a little bit lower, have some lower premium, then Intel could be the one for you. They closed at 1923, and with Intel, to the downside. Okay, remember I'm mostly focused on downside levels. I want to see them get below 1872. They hit 1872 today in the aftermarket once the market closed. Okay, so anything under 1872, then they will be trying to retest 1863, which is right up under there, and then that lower level at 1801. Okay, so I have a level here, and then anything below 1801, then we will probably look to test that 1750. So these are just some levels that I have here at the downside for Intel. Um, I wouldn't say a slow burn play, but it definitely could be, just depending on how that news hit it and if it will see a huge impact from it to kind of really just pour down. But it didn't move much. I think it was down like 60 cents today. So, or just from the time the market closed, it was about 60 cents. So it didn't hit like AMD, and it didn't hit like Nvidia being down $7 on the day. And then once that market closed. So yeah, this one could definitely be one of those ones if you hold it for a little while and just kind of let it do its thing and run down. But it has literally been pouring down since, let's see, we was up here at $20.30, and then we're down here. So about a $2-3 drop over the last few days from Intel. So nothing too heavy on that one. The MU Micron Technologies, I have a few downside levels on this one as well. Now they had a few bounces right here at this 68, 67 level. Um, and they push back up, push back down to that level again. So we would need to see it break that 67 level, that $67 even level. They break that, they can come down to 66.40. I have another level here at 65.23, and I have another level down here at 62.01. Okay, so those are some downside levels that I have for that one. So I'm also watching them. And then lastly, let's go to AMD. The levels that I have to the downside for this one. If we can open below 85, what is that? 85.30. Okay, I have a level at 81.90, and then I have a lower level at $78 even. Okay, so it's just kind of seeing how that news continues to hit. So those are just some three downside levels that I have for that one. But you would need to see it open below that 85.30 to kind of test those lower levels down at the bottom. So there's some levels to watch to the downside. Again, watch the charts for yourself, do your own research, and kind of play accordingly. And like I said, be gentle because you never know when another flip flop takes place. And we could be trying to ride this thing down, or we may get into a play Thursday. So we're going to hold this till Monday. News comes out over the weekend that something has changed. The ban is no longer on. They did this, they did that, and now this running back up. And come Monday, and our shit is worthless. So be gentle on the swings. Be gentle on your play inputs. See profit, take profit, and don't overstay your welcome.